So how do we deal as spiritual seekers? How do we deal with anger and resentment? That's a huge topic, I think, for anyone who's trying to heal or trying to grow in life. And I think particularly though for spiritual seekers, meaning those of us who are really seeking to understand ourselves as spiritual beings, our spiritual identity, who want to have a real connection with God and discover what that means. Dealing with anger and resentment is huge. It's a huge topic. I know it has been for me. How do you deal with anger and resentment as a spiritual seeker, or anyone who is really wanting to let go of it, let go of anger and resentment? Well, it's not a one-off, that's for sure. There's no formula where you magically wake up one day and say, I've let go of all of my anger and resentment. I think there are some who can do that, but for most of us who are spiritual seekers, who are on a spiritual journey with God, we discover that anger and resentment can seem like a huge stumbling block. And it always has to do with the past, whether it was things that seemed to happen to us or things that other people seemed to do to us that we felt somehow a victim of, or mistakes that we think that we made. Anger and resentment towards yourself or others or circumstances or systems or the world. And the way this world is set up, it's very easy to remain stuck in anger and resentment, because in and of itself the world is not organized. It's not set up to help us evolve. In fact, the understanding here is that this world is designed to keep us blinded from our spiritual identity. My understanding is that our spiritual identity is that of God, that we're children of God. We are extensions of God, which means that we are naturally loving beings, naturally peaceful. And our natural function is to extend the love of God through us. But how many of us are taught that? Very few, I would say, are taught as children that we're loving beings made by God. In fact, most of us, myself included, had many, many hardships and challenges to face, many trials and tribulations. Which seem to build a cacophony of reasons for me to be angry and resentful. Anger at what seem, some of those things that seem to have happened, anger at other people, and resentment over disappointments in relationships, disappointments with money, with jobs, with circumstances, disappointment with this world. This world can be a very disappointing place. And I've discovered if you do not deal with your anger and resentment, it'll fester. It festers. It doesn't get better over time. It doesn't heal naturally over time. It festers and becomes a poison. A poison that blocks your heart and your mind from any sense of healing, any sense of peace, happiness, and joy, any sense of God. Now, I understand that dealing with one's feelings of anger and resentment is not easy. In fact, it's not a very attractive subject. Most people don't want to deal with their anger and resentment. And as people grow older, you start to realize, though, that the anger and resentment will come and deal with you. And you reach a point where I reached a point, too, that I couldn't continue to blame what seemed to happen in the past, either others or myself, that I had to find a way to face it, to face the past, to face whatever mistakes I may have made or the mistakes of others. But the only way I could do that was with the help of God, with the help of Spirit. And it indeed takes work. But that's it right there. Most people don't want to do the work because it can be really frightening and it can seem overwhelming. But I can assure you, if you do not face the anger and resentment, it will come out. It will show itself. We're not equipped to contain it. The more we try to stuff it and bury it away and run from it or distract ourselves, because let's face it, there's many, many ways to distract ourselves from doing our inner work. Many of those ways this world actually encourages pursuits of the world, achievements, goals, pleasure seeking, escapism. And I'm not saying any of those things are in and of themselves bad or wrong. But we have to understand as spiritual seekers that any of the things we might want to do in this world don't mean anything unless they are for the purposes of God. And so using the distractions, the things of this world or life as a distraction from dealing with your anger and resentment will not serve you, will not serve anyone around you, will not serve anything. It'll only cause misery. Eventually it will cause misery, and it's an ongoing process. I think particularly too for those of us on spiritual journeys, particularly if we don't seem to have a support of those around us necessarily, or those that we know, or those that have known us for a long time, like family or friends or circumstances, groups, situations. We realize that this is a journey with God, and we have to have the courage to face our anger and resentment. And it's an ongoing process. It can often seem like you've done so much work, you've faced a lot of anger and resentment, and then something else comes up that needs to be faced. But that is the process. So there's no one formula for dealing with anger and resentment. Also, it doesn't make you any less spiritual. A lot of people have this notion, I think, that being on a spiritual journey means that you're supposed to be perfect, that you're supposed to be at peace all the time, and you're never supposed to get angry. That is not true. The sense of peace doesn't come from, I've discovered anyway, it doesn't come from a surface behavior or appearance or act. It's a feeling. Even when you might be going through something, even if you're angry, underneath that there's a feeling of peace underneath, because you now have a different understanding of the purpose of dealing with your anger and resentment. Because as you walk on a journey with God, you cannot stay stuck in anger and resentment towards others or towards yourself. In fact, God will, once you say yes to God, in fact, sometimes if you don't say yes to God, God will knows you enough to help you take a look at your anger and resentment, as difficult as it may be. But I can tell you, as someone who's been at this for many years now, it is worth it. So do what it takes to face your anger and resentment. Get whatever help you need. And understand that there's no shame in admitting that you have anger and resentment and dealing with it. Face it. And for me, the way that I've discovered that is through the help of God. God will show you the way. God will, through guidance, when you do your prayer and your meditation, step by step. And it might be unpleasant. It's not fun when the anger and resentment comes up. But that's your clue, that's your signal to go deeper.